The Piper is on the ice. Welcome everyone to the Cool Duck Finals 2015. We have on sheet A will be the A event finals. Sheet B will be, let's try that again. On sheet B will be the A event finals. Sheet A will be the B event finals, and sheet C will be the C event finals. All right, we're ready to start here at the Cool Duck 5 and Under 2015 Finals. On the mics today, we have myself, Matt Gallegos, and Jeff Casper, president of the Ardsley Curling Club.
Hi, Matt. Good to see you here today.
It's good to see you as well.
So I understand it's been a very fruitful weekend for Ardsley Curling. Late night for a lot of folks.
It has. We were here quite late. Couple delays, a little extra end games, and I think the last game got on the ice at 11 o'clock. And then there was a little entertainment that followed the last match.
So the final two teams on the A event are Ardsley 1 and Nutmeg 1. Ardsley 1 is comprised of Nick Beaton as skip, Corey Fisher at vice, Steve Agostino as second, and A. Grinka as lead. And Nutmeg 1 is Craig Doucette at skip, Mike McCarthy at vice, Larry Bacchieri as second, and Andrew Hancock is their lead. Nutmeg 1 is comprised of a team from last year's Dykes finals. I believe they won.
They did not.
They did not. But they were runner-up?
They were runner-up.
Okay. Well, they're giving me a story then. So it sounds like the Beaton rink is going to have their work cut out for them here today, but you never know.
We were really excited last night to finally see Beaton off to the finals. Our B event finals is Ardsley 3, which is Brian Stewart at skip, Barry Rosenblum at vice, Chris Fenton, Bree at second, and Joey Peanuts, Joe Sablo at lead. And the Broomstones team on sheet A is Mike Rybak, Dimitri Rybak, Hendrikus Rimkus, and I don't know this last one. Anyone want to give this a try? Nerjus, Tommy, I don't know. We'll call him John.
Regis Tomatis.
All right. Well, I'm sure we've butchered that one. And on the sheet C, that's our C event finals. That's Team Potluck with Sam Williams, a new curler from Australia, came to join us at Ardsley. At skip, Lisa Brown. At vice, Tom Lithgow at second. And at lead, Erica Amundsen. And from Curling Club Virginia, this is their second year back with us. They made the C event finals. Skip, Tom Burk. Vice, Jen Fox. Second, BJ Palsa. And at lead, Alex Carroll.
All right, so the first rock has been thrown by Nutmeg 1. It is about a T-line draw by their lead, and now Ardsley's lead, Vinay Grinka, is set to make his first shot. It's always hard to tell the speed of the ice in the first few shots. So the lead is actually critical that they have the same motion every time so that the skip gets new information each end.
Absolutely. The four guys from Ardsley, they play together a lot, just like the team from from Nutmeg. They'll both hopefully see each other in the finals at the Dykes. We very might be seeing a preview of the Dykes final right here at the Cool Down.
We'll be talking to Matt Shiner a little bit later, the organizer of the Cool Duck. This event has really come a long way over the years. As soon as we turned it open to other teams from other clubs, it has really taken off. And I believe this event was full, all 24 teams, pretty quick after the signups went out. And it's all due to all the efforts that Matt and his team have put together.
Yes, Matt's taken the lead on this for the last several years, as well as being a participant up until the last few. It's been an amazing event. We enjoyed, myself and my team enjoyed it up until this year. We're finally aged out.
Matt is being modest. He's just aged out this year. He's going to be a top curler here on the East Coast at least, and we will be referring to his expertise throughout the match.
Thank you very much. Top curler on the East Coast, that's something to aspire to.
Okay, is that sticking around? Looks like it still might be biting.
Looks like a flob on the outside.
All right, so this is the first semi-difficult shot we're going to see by Doucette's rink. He's going to try to draw down to that one and just get in the way. Tough to do a first shot.
And arguably one of the hardest shots in curling is the freeze. So anything down in front of it would be great. Freeze is the ideal shot. Just a bit heavy as it slides through the back. Still learning the ice in the first, trying to get your feel.
So what Nick is doing here is he is splitting the house. This is a common occurrence, especially if you have a hammer, to try to guarantee yourself at least two at the end. You put one rock on one side of the house and another rock on the other side of the house, so you can't knock both of them out. So early on, this is a pretty important shot. Got to get it in the rings.
And ideally, not just in the rings, but you want it in the ring above the tee line.
So that's a little deep. There was good communication by Beaton Rink. Corey and Vinay are on the broom. Vinay would like to say hi to his wife, Priyanka, and his daughter, Anya. Hopefully they're watching. And here comes Nutmeg's shot. They've already made it difficult on Nutmeg because they're making their second have to freeze rocks.
Yes, ideally the second, or very common you see the second, throwing a lot of takeouts. This is a great shot if it's coming down, right down to it. A little bit of tap, but not a problem at all.
100%.
I'd say they overswept it by a few inches. But hey, I might be a little more critical than some.
All right, here comes Steve Agostino. Vice. What's the shot here, Matt?
I believe he's playing the same shot, a little bit down to it. Just tap it back just a little bit. Bring your stones 1 and 2 into play.
It's very important that Beaton's rink get off to a strong start here today. I think people coming in assume that the Doucette rink would be here at the end, and they are. Nick has a strong team. They play together a lot, which is important, but I still feel that they really need to have a good end right off the bat here.
Getting off to a good start is definitely key. I have a tendency to give up an early 4 and then try to work my way back on far too many games. Both teams sweeping both teams have very strong sweeping front ends. As you can see, the first couple stones really dragging some nice draws into play.
Okay, so that protects what might be the counting stone, Red's counting stone.
It's hard to tell from the overhead whose shot. It looks to be perhaps the Red, not 100%.
It's close.
Okay, and the comments from the warm room are saying, no, it's yellow. So, what do we know?
This looks heavy. The tendency in the first couple of ends is to be heavy. You've got to get your weight down. Typically in a 5 and under event, the first team that figures out the ice and has less nerves goes on to win. As you build better teams, it gets a little bit more nuanced. These two teams here have been around the block a few times, so I expect that they'll figure out the ice in pretty short order.
And nerves really shouldn't be an issue for either of these teams. This might be Team Beaton's first A event final, but they've been playing together and played together in a few finals at different events. Ice seems to be coming up to speed pretty quick, as we've seen the last couple stones slide right to the back of the house.
Looks like Nick is drawing down here.
With that corner guard in play, if you can get a good draw behind it, you could be able to sit on the red stone, be sitting 1 and 2 for yellow. That'd be your ideal shot here. Looks like it's going to be a little bit heavy, but we have the backing. Shouldn't really come into play, though, that stone, with the 2 behind guard on the left side.
And the red is kicked out. So, Matt, it looks like the front end and the Vices have battled to a draw here. And somebody's going to make a shot here to change the end. I don't believe the 2 counting stones are really in play to be knocked around anytime soon, unless you run back one of the guards. But it's a tough shot, and it sounds like they're just content to draw around.
Well, that seems to be. Everyone knows the line at this point. We haven't really seen any takeouts in play yet. And to do the run back, you're risking a jam on the stone right behind it. It seems to be only a benefit to the red team. And you usually don't see people run back another team's stone unless you're desperate.
So this is Doucette's first shot.
Seems to be a touch wide, waiting for the curl.
Is it back? Is it on the back one? 4 foot, get here. Bury it.
All weekend, the ice has been nice and swingy. We get a little more curl than you see at a lot of clubs. Our ice technicians, Martin Sather, has done a lot to make sure our ice is usually pretty quick and the stones curl significantly.
We also purchased new rocks last year, which makes a big difference. The rocks we had in play earlier, they were so old we could not figure out how old they were. So we went ahead and purchased new ones. They were starting to wear out, and that also makes a big difference.
The rock itself is probably several million years old, wouldn't you think?
Very good. I should just stop talking.
The purchase of the new stones it was remarkable. People who were more experienced called the stones, our old stones, kind of dead rocks, which means after contact you didn't get a lot of action, and now any hit you play, good action off of, you hit cross-house doubles, and just the peels get triples. Well, not me, I flash those, but good curlers make those peeled triples.
So you see Nick talking to his sweepers here. It's amazing how easy it is to have misunderstanding out on the ice. So it's really important to make sure that your sweepers know exactly what is going on and that you're talking the whole time down the ice.
You even see it at the competitive level. Every once in a while there's just a miscommunication on what the shot was supposed to be based on an assumption.
Now he's going to knock into the red. Yes.
Looks like there's still only one, I'd say one yellow from the overhead.
Boy, it's tough. They're going to have to measure if everything changes or stays the same, I should say. All right, so this is it. Doucette's coming down here for his last stone at the end.
Not sure what the call is here. For the ice he's given, it could be one of 2 shots. You can do the hit, but the hit really doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't improve your lie. I believe he's tapping up his own stone. It's about the same ice for either shot.
That's Mike McCarthy holding the broom, and he's doing it right. He's got his legs spread and the broom in between. Most people don't do that, and it's hard to see where the broom head is. Here he comes.
It's really close. They're up, down, which means they're really close to the line they want.
That's a takeout. What do you think of that shot, Matt?
Well, that's okay. I mean, it makes it really difficult for the Beaton rink to draw for a second shot. They're playing it further outside than they've played the entire end, so you have fresh ice. You just don't know the weight out there. So here, if you're just trying to limit damage, hold yourself to 1. They could think they are shot wrong.
That's true. They're either thinking they're 1 or they're betting that Beaton isn't going to make this draw for 2.
Nick didn't like the ice, asked for a little bit more. All because we're still learning the ice out there. Don't know the lines just yet.
That's Corey Fisher on the broom. Corey's from Los Angeles. I'd like to say hi to his parents, Herman and Carol.
Maybe a touch more. Touch more. I think it's there on its own.
That looks close, but it's got a curl.
They're waiting fresh ice.
No.
They don't know it.
It's heavy.
Line was excellent, just a few feet heavy. And it wasn't even a measure. They had already decided it was 1 something. We'll find out who. The warm room is saying yellow.
Wow, I'm surprised at that. You really should measure that.
Wow. Calling the game from the warm room. We always make a few different decisions when they make out on the ice.
That's curling, though. Armchair quarterback.
Going to be armchair skipping.
All right, that's 1 yellow. So what that means is that Doucette was betting that Nick was going to miss that shot.
I should have taken some of that action.
All right, so Nick's pounded his broom center guard for Vinay. And it's out.
Just a bit outside. Seems to be a fair bit of weight.
It's not the end of the world if this thing goes in the house, but it looks like it's going to be short. The weight was good. I think he just came out a little wide.
If you're going to be wide and not going to have the shot you're looking for, it's probably beneficial to bring it in the house. You really don't want to set them up, give them a guard already in play.
That's what happened. He's given Doucette a corner guard. And we'll see if Andrew can do anything about it. He's going to draw in. That looks narrow. Narrow means that it's a little closer to the rock than what they wanted, but he doesn't have a lot of handle on this stone. It's not spinning like it should.
Yeah. It reversed handle. And slide to the back of the house.
That's a missed opportunity for Nutmeg. All right, Beaton's going to try it again. Vinay's been a curler here at Ardsley for a number of years. Obviously, he's less than 5, but he is exactly the type of member that you want. He is always here, volunteering, always doing his part.
So those of our members who are watching, if you don't volunteer enough, please step up and help us out every opportunity. This is an all volunteer club, just like most of them are.
That's much better. Seems like Vinay's got a better turn on this side, although that's a little deep.
There's a real nice handle on that stone. You really need 2 to 3 is the general agreement of how many rotations you should have per stone.
That means from the time that it leaves your hand, it rotates 2 to 3 times. As curlers become more capable, they begin to understand how to control the number of rotations on their rock.
However, you see very, very experienced curlers put a soft or light handle on stones just regularly. It's just part of their natural delivery. Not saying that's right. Sometimes it's difficult to correct. I still do it from time to time.
Okay, so that was a takeout by Doucette. So they are counting stone 1 and 2. What is the shot here, Matt?
I believe he's throwing a takeout. At this point, it doesn't make sense to draw in at this point.
Let's Yes, indeed. Looks like the wait for a takeout. He's probably going to flash the front. Oh, no, he's curling in now.
I think the call was for the double. Looks like it's going to overcurl for that.
It's okay, though. It's better to control the top of the tee line than the back of the tee line. Tee line is that string that runs right through the middle of the target area horizontally. That's called the tee. And anything behind that line is considered not so great. It's always better to make sure that you control the top of the house, or that being closer to where the thrower is.
Another takeout. They're trying to hit and roll behind the guard that's already in play. Got the hit. The roll looks like it's...
They overswept it. May have rolled out anyway, but you never know.
Well, it's hard to get the perfect hit and roll when you're playing across the sheet. Little update on sheet A. Team Stewart in the first end took 2 over the Broomstones team Rybak.
In sheet C, it looks like Virginia is up 2-0. Oh, you're right. Potluck is up 2. Sorry. Potluck team is comprised of Ardsley, Brooklyn, and Long Island. Sam Williams is their skip. He's a newer curler here. Many years ago, he participated as an Australian curler on the national junior team.
A correction on sheet A, that was 2 for Team Rybak. The scroll that went across the screen was incorrect. That was our one and only mistake we will make during the broadcast.
Speak for yourself. Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward end so far. We've got one counting yellow and then another red in the back. If looks like the red team Nutmeg is set up to try to get 2 if they keep. I don't know where this is going. That's a huge mistake. They had a chance at 2.
As much as that missed by, wondering if it hit something on the sheet. I mean, it missed by a good 1.5 to 2 feet. Caught his back stone. I know they swept it fairly early, but just the action, just where it ended up, I'd guess it hit something in the middle of the sheet. It picked.
So this is a real chance for Beaton's rink. Corey has got to put one in the way. It looks like he's coming in.
Looks a bit wide, maybe a touch heavy.
Get it in.
It looks to be in the house. Might be setting up a quick double.
We'll see if Doucette saves that one or he goes for it now.
What would you do here? Is an experienced skip yourself?
Well, you got to try to get 2 because you have the hammer. I would probably grab this, a soft take. But, and again, he's behind the tee line, so maybe come down to it.
I think personally I'd probably try the double and play this end like it was going to blank. You don't see a lot of blanks at the 5 and under. In fact, I don't believe we've had one on purpose all weekend.
It's curling now. Looks like he's going to dig out the center stone. And he's going to try to draw around it. It's a good effort. Not quite.
Beaton has the opportunity here to take the stone out, roll to the side, I think, towards his guard, open it up, really put on the force on the Doucette team.
So this is a big shot because what Doucette looked like he was trying to do was set up a double for himself later. But if Corey can make this and get a roll, this is all based on a roll, he can split the house and probably end up holding Doucette to 1. A lot of curl out there today. And he's missed it.
Looks like a little wide out of the hand. That's right. Just as much curl as we're getting out on our sheets, just wasn't quite enough.
So the vice for Nutmeg, McCarthy is up. Once again. Looking up at the football score, Oakland and Pittsburgh is on, and Pittsburgh somehow managed to get 11 points. This looks like he's setting up for a freeze, and it's close, but
from the overhead, it's close. That's tough. It's a tough call from here. Although it looks like if you hit it just off nose, the double's available.
Yeah, I think now's the time.
On sheet C, Curling Club Virginia is sitting 5 stones in the house. Big end building with the hammer. 4 stones remaining.
Matt mentioned earlier, this is Virginia's second time making the trip, and once again, they're in the 3rd event final. All right. Nick looks like he is, I can't tell from Corey's broom exactly what he's trying here. We'll judge from the weight. It looks like a take, trying for a double.
It's not moving on him. It's riding that center line. Unfortunately, it looks like if he catches the top one, he's going to jam on his own stone.
That's exactly what happened. Matt called it. So they could have swept that through, perhaps. Maybe avoid the curl at the last minute. So now Doucette is really in the driver's seat. They have the hammer, they're counting 2, put up a nice guard here, and he can end up drawing for 3. Some critical misses by Beaton on this end.
I think personally I would have thrown the takeout from the other side. I would have gone the, I guess that would have been the intern. Just in general. Or was that, no, that was the intern. All right, I'm just getting some commentary from the people in the warm room.
All right, he's going to come in again. That's actually pretty smart.
I would have thrown this another one in the house. Or said I would try to throw in a guard and it would have floated right into the house. Either way, it would have ended up in the house.
So what they're deciding here is whether to protect the counting stone, anticipating that Beaton will try to dig that out with his next rock, or to split the house, anticipating that with Doucette's last rock he can take out Nick's stone after he throws it. So it looks like what they're going to do is try another freeze type shot, maybe get his rock into the 8-foot, which is the white colored ring, and just make it very difficult for Nick to dig everything out of there. The placement of this stone is going to be very interesting.
And at that point, well, it puts Nick in a really tough spot if he can put a stone in a good spot there. I mean, doing a takeout doesn't really help him.
No, if he makes this shot, I think Nick is looking at just hitting as many stones as he can, limiting the damage.
You like the takeout there rather than the drawdown on the stone in the back of the tee?
Yeah, let's see where this goes.
Looks like they're playing down to their back stone.
All right, that's exactly where it was.
The draw for 3 on sheet A for Team Stewart. Sweepers are on, off, on, off. It's close.
That is Sablo and Fenton on the broom.
It is good.
Looks like 3. So they're back in it 3-2. Ardsley 3 takes the lead there. Stewart rink. Okay, so this is a turning point here early in the main event. Do you think Nick can sneak one in there?
No.
Looks like he's just trying to knock everything out, limit him to 2.
Yes. I don't believe the triple's there. You have to be very careful here. If you hit this takeout wrong, look at the way he's called it, you have a jam on the outside. I believe he was trying to take off the top 2. I think that's what he called.
So it is very easy, actually, when you're throwing this stone to go wide. And we'll have to see if Nick can throw enough weight and maintain the line. Here comes, got plenty of weight. Got to try to get 2 out of this. That looks like yes, he has gotten 2.
Great shot. Sweep it, Corey. All right, got it out.
So that saves him. Doucette's going to draw down, hopefully for 2 for him, and then it would be 2-1 Nutmeg. So they would get their 2.
Huge shot on sheet C. We have the skip drawing for 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yes, this would be for 6.
Sheet C's rock is delivered. That looks like a lot of weight.
Yes, it does. Not much handle.
Maybe it'll knock off of something.
That'll do. It actually knocked off 2 stones. That'll slow it down. Big 6 for Team Virginia in the second end.
Wow.
5. I counted 6. Sorry, Matt.
Matt is still earning his elementary school education at night while he works during the day.
The other Matt. This is evil Matt speaking. We have Matt Shiner giving us commentary on the number of stones.
Throwing Shiner under the bus. Oh no. Oh no. This looks like they might have given Beaton
one. I still think it's 1 red just from the overhead. Well, there was clearly not close enough to measure.
That was really, really unfortunate for Nutmeg's team. They had all kinds of room there to draw in. It was a big miss.
So we believe it's 1 red, all tied up after 2 on our A event final.
So giving up 1 is good because you get the hammer back. They're just trading blows here early. Matt, I see the Francis Dykes event is in Rochester this year in the normal time slot, mid to late February. Guess you're glad you won't be making the drive up to Rochester this year.
Well, Rochester is a hell of a drive. We went there a couple years ago for the Dykes. For the Kaiser. They had a great time up there. Good wings, a dinosaur barbecue. I don't remember anything else about Rochester. You curled there, I believe.
Yes, 1,000 years ago, I think the last time they had the Dykes there, I was a 5 and under, and I curled there at that event. And was recently up there last Christmas break with my son, who's a junior curler. Wonderful town. It looks a little deep here. Deep meaning behind the tee line.
It's actually perfectly on the tee line. It checked up nicely. I thought it was going to sail right to the back of the house as well.
It looks like Nutmeg is playing draw down to it. Taking a lot of ice. Let's see if he's right.
Seem to change up the strategy a little in this game, playing no guards. I assume that's from the first stone or two slipping into the house.
The front end, especially the first stone, really dictates the strategy for the rest of the end. And if the first stone is in, you're looking at more of a takeout end, typically. And it's a strategy. You want to throw it in if you want to make the other guy take a stone out, and you want to limit their ability to score multiples. Good defense mechanism.
It's pretty hard to ignore the stones when they throw something top 8, top 4, and when you're behind, you kind of have to ignore those stones. Throw up your own guards and dictate the game yourself.
Yeah, you're really forcing them to make a tough choice. It's kind of like a police officer pulling you over and saying, how fast do you think you were going? I mean, either answer you give is kind of wrong.
That has never happened to me.
Happened to you on the way down here today, didn't it?
I ran here today.
Well, that was a miss by Vinay. Now, I guarantee you he's going to be thinking about that tonight. He's pretty hard on himself. But, that stone was wide open, and he knows he can hit it.
I believe the team's pretty hard on him as well. They have public shamings after each match. That was a joke, folks. the team is actually, they're great guys. They are all very supportive of each other.
Okay, this is going to roll over a bit. It's okay. Looks like an easy double is there. That's what he's going to call.
Called the normal weight takeout.
As you see these shots here, Matt, you know, how many times have you stood in the house and saw a wide open shot there and your eyes get all big and you just throw it through the wall?
Twice.
See if he can keep his form here.
Twice in my last game. Yeah, twice.
He's just going to get the one and maybe roll out.
A lot of weight. He actually might get the double. Oh, yes, that's the double.
Nutmeg is still sitting 2, wide open. This is not what Beaton wanted. He would like to have counting stone at this point in the end. So it looks like Nutmeg is just trying to lay another stone in to count. Really load up the house.
It's nice to have a lot of stones in the house, but they're all behind the tee line. Beaton can really still dictate the end himself if he gets a couple good stones in play.
And he's still taking.
We have our chat open, so feel free to say hello. We see a few people have signed on, a couple comments, and most recently from the Czech Center, New York, where I believe that's probably Jan and Nicole. And we all like to see a mate enter today. Probably not in the A event.
This looks like he might hit a field goal here or just nip. Oh, he's got both. They stuck around now.
Almost a triple there.
I don't know about that, Matt. What would you have done there? They're all behind the tee, as you mentioned.
I'd have thrown the triple.
Of course.
Which means I would have tried the triple and flashed all 3 stones right down the middle.
All right, so you got 2 back-end stones. He's just trying to load up the house again. The trouble with the Beaton's throws so far is he's not able to keep anything in the house after he hits it. So it's no good.
With 3 stones in the back of the house, he has a couple choices here. He can just draw down into that pile, or he can throw the Visine shot. Really throw it hard and try to get the red out.
I'm not going to dignify that with a comment.
That was brilliant. Come on.
Well, Nick is still playing a takeout game here. Looks like he's trying for another double.
You see Lance Rosenthal is checked into our Facebook chat. Hello, Lance. Glad to see you're watching us this afternoon. And we agree, the 6-ender was amazing to watch.
That is wide. Corey has thrown it out too far. I'm hoping for a quick break here. Maybe he's got 2, and he is going to stick around.
That was a good shot. With the backing, makes it a little bit tough to take out. Actually, looks like they can chip it out pretty easily.
So for those who can't tell, the yellow is counting stone. So Corey's done his job. It's Mike McCarthy's first stone. Looks like he's just drawn down. Mike would like to say hello to his wife, Jessica. And they have a 1-year-old, Connor. Hello, Connor. Connor has a birthday coming up. He is going to be 2 on December 6th.
That's a good year.
Happy birthday, Connor. And his dad has thrown a good shot. That's counting stone. And he's got some protection in the back.
Probably ideally was calling the freeze down onto that, but that is an excellent position. So.
Another takeout for Nick. Looks like Nick is trying to just keep that Corey's yellow stone as the 2 stone, knowing that he's got the last shot. Maybe he gets lucky and they get both of these out and he sticks around. It's asking a lot, though. Looks like he's a little narrow in this one. He was wide on the first one and narrow on this one. And they're going to let this one go in the hopes that it flashes. And it did not.
Or he's just struggling just a little bit in the first couple ends. He'll settle down. I'll play with him regularly on Wednesday. I'll bring it back around.
So Nutmeg is really in a good position here. There's only 2 stones left for Ardsley to throw, and they both have to count for them to get their 2. So all Doucette has to do here is just lay another one in the house. This is a good time of the match to practice your draw weight. Might need that late. should take a moment to thank Matt Shiner and his staff for all of the work that they've done this week. And in the weeks leading up to this event, it has been top-notch. We had a difficult day on Friday. It was about 900 or 1,000 degrees outside, and one of the compressors blew. This one's going to lay in nicely.
I think it was 940.
Stop. That's got to stop. Okay, that's in.
Learning his draw weight really nice. That's good to know that he has that in his pocket. And they learned the line, so they know the good draw for that side. Maybe they would have changed the broom for the next shot, but it's good to know. Update on sheet A. Team Rybak just scored 2 in the third end. So the score currently is Team Rybak 4, Team Ardsley 3.
I think Beaton's going to do here is just going to do a straight take here and hope for a miss by Doucette. If he does take this out, he has to roll over to get some backing on. Or he could just be trying to push it back. You know, if this were Fox Sports, we'd have all the sweepers mics so we know what's going on. They'd probably have some stupid animated character in the bottom left corner of the screen.
I don't know that we want mics out on the ice.
This is curling.
Well, and this is a saucy bunch out there. A lot of flagrant language. Have to tone it down for the live broadcast.
He has nicked it, and that is a straight miss. He knows it. So the best that Ardsley 1 is going to do here is 1. And Doucette is going to make it hard on him. He could make Beaton draw here since he hasn't practiced it yet. All of his shots have been takeouts. So it's going to be interesting to see here whether he lays another one in there and tries to make Beaton take it out after that miss, or if he just throws it off to the side and make Beaton draw.
He looks like he's drawing to the forefoot again. I think I'd play it out to the other side. Don't leave him the forefoot. Make him draw to an empty house with no backing.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. It's nervy business out there when you're the last stone and you have to count. Of course, it's another opportunity to practice his draw weight, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
He's got that weight down right now. Sweepers could have put it wherever they wanted. And Button's good enough here.
Nice thing about events like this leading up to the Dykes tournament in February is you get to have an opportunity to play in a bonspiel with good competition, lots of teams from different places. The set rink seems pretty set for the February events. So they're getting valuable practice time here, and a lot of other teams that may be deciding to go to the Dykes this year have an opportunity to meet different players and practice together as a team. It's really hard to figure out what it is you need in a team, and it's hard to find practice time to do it. So events like this are ideal.
It really is. For my 5 and under teams, I had the fortunate opportunity to play with them during league. These gentlemen here, a couple of them play together here and there, but it's mostly practices in these smaller events. So maybe an in-house bonspiel here and there.
Nick is going to flash out again if he's not careful.
It's rolling.
And he is out. And it's going to be 2.
Still of 2. So after 3 ends, Current score is Team Doucette 3, Team Beaton 1.
There's 2 big misses by Beaton there. He's got to just put those behind him. There's a couple misses by Fisher as well. They were lucky to get away with just 2.
I think we had another big end on sheet C. If they were sitting 3 Team Yellow, which was Team Potluck. I don't know if they made the draw for 4. If so, we have a tie game, 6-6 after 3. We're going to need another scoreboard.
You can borrow sheet B. They're not scoring much at all. My goodness, look at that. 6-6 after 3.
So basically, they both missed the extra point. 2 touchdowns, or a lot of field goals, I don't know.
Last time I did a broadcast was at the Childs last year at Ardsley, and it was during the Packers' substantial loss to the Seahawks.
The Empire?
It was at the Empire, yes, the Empire. Sorry. My mind is fogging after the terrible Packer defeat.
Who did they lose to?
Never mind.
Denver Broncos.
Oh, they lost to the Seahawks.
Oh, they lost today?
It was last year.
Oh, last year. What? How'd they do last week?
They lost to the Broncos.
Go Broncos.
And now I'm doing this event, and yesterday Michigan State fell all over themselves. So I don't think I'm going to do this anymore, Matt.
We had that game on a little bit here at the club, and it was turned off afterwards.
I was glad I wasn't here. So Vinay has given them another corner guard. This is why the Doucette rink is one of the reasons they're winning right now. Is it's really good communication between all the parties. They're not panicked. They're not screaming at each other. They say what they need to say in as few words as possible, and they all know what to do. Sounds simple enough, but
2 nice stones. One at the top of the house, one behind the tee. Not ideal for that second stone, but pretty much, I guess you can draw in here. Looks like he's calling the takeout.
no, he's taken. He could have drawn in here. And he's wide again, looks like. Might hit the back stone.
Lance, are you saying the volume for the announcers, or are you looking for the volume on your computer screen? I'm assuming that you're speaking to us, and if so, we'll speak a little louder. I've never been told I'm awfully quiet, but I'll do my best to increase my volume.
Or Lance can put in his hearing aids, one or the other.
Ouch.
I'm gonna hear about that one, I think.
But Lance won't.
That's true. I could say pretty much anything.
Love you, Lance. I see Jordan. Jordan is signed in watching our match today. I'm not sure what a level 4 janitor is, but okay. Thank you, Jordan.
This stone they want to have in the house, and it's just short, but it's not the end of the world because it ends up being a, well, I don't know if I'd want it there either. You know, now this is an opportunity now for Ardsley to just draw in and try to salvage something here, try to get their 2.
With that guard in play, I mean, he already had a corner guard, but now this one's in a little bit better position. He can do what he just called. It looked like a hit and roll, or he can ignore that stone and draw in.
The interesting thing for me so far, Matt, is Nick has been calling pretty much a takeout game, and You got to wonder at some point whether they want to switch strategy or whether he believes that they're going to start making these takes.
It's not like either team has been dictating, so just a couple misses, and it could have gone. The other end could have gone either way. So.
They are just not able to keep these stones in play after they hit them. And now they've given an opportunity back to Nutmeg to draw around.
Well, they also have the opportunity to throw a little lighter. Not everything needs to be a normal takeout. You can throw controls or down weight shots.
He's calling a normal takeout, though. They're doing what he's saying.
I like this. Attack back to here. That'd be great. Think you can get to the nose.
Looks like they're just trying to bring one in behind their own guard.
He's still short. So that was a miss.
We're going to apologize to Lance, formally from our president of the curling club, for any disparaging remarks that were made during this broadcast.
That depends on if he's paid his dues yet. All right, this is a big shot here for Steve. It looks like he's a little deep, and it's going to probably go through. But these are the ones you got to make. You don't want to make it easy for Doucette here. He knows already what to call.
Well, as you were saying, he's called a lot of takeouts. So asking takeout, takeout, takeout. Okay, now make a draw. It's sometimes hard to build that, get that control, that weight down early.
It is. That's why. Well, you know this better than anybody, Matt. When you're skipping a team, you come off the ice, you are exhausted because there's just so many variables in your head that you have to pay attention to.
Sure. As a skip, I'm a little less exhausted. But I tend to stand there, but mentally it's draining.
It is absolutely draining.
I'd like to say hello to Ray and Lisa, who joined us on the chat.
Okay, this is pretty good weight by Mr. McCarthy. It's got a curl, but they're going to have to sweep this in if they want to bury it. That's a decent shot.
That's a great stone. It makes it really hard for Nick to get in and buried without coming to the back of the house.
Right. And that's there because they weren't able to get in ahead of him. So he can start to, he's already down to Corey's second stone here, so it's going to be awfully hard to start clearing out guards now. But he may need to start thinking about giving himself a path for the last shot. What do you think you would do here, Matt?
He got himself in a little bit of trouble here.
He's calling the draw, which is a difficult shot, given that he hasn't thrown one in a couple ends.
I believe Corey's last few shots have all been takeouts. At this point, I don't know what other options he has. You can throw the hit off of the top stone, maybe try to roll over and sit in the on the right side of the house.
This has to slow down. It might tick off the red and stick around. Oh, that might, no, that's too heavy.
And not much handle.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe he could have opened up another lane, maybe taken out the second guard, the deeper guard, given himself two different angles to shoot for that last stone. But he's looking at one here, unless a mistake is made.
Well, the downside of that is you're asking, okay, after the takeout, the other team does what? They probably put one in the house or block the draw shot.
Correct.
So the shot after that is you're asking the skip to throw a draw on a tighter port through a lane that he hasn't seen the entire end or the entire game. They haven't played that side of the sheet much at all.
That's true.
You're asking him to throw the the out turn when he's been throwing in turn over and again. Good job.
Well, this is interesting. This is really interesting because now makes it a little harder to draw around because that stone that McCarthy just threw is kind of more in the way.
I'd like to say hello to, was it Matt Wall, signing on to our chat. Glad your wife enjoyed the commentary last night. Sorry for my outburst, we'll say.
All right, this looks about the same weight. Hopefully it'll get caught out there in the pebble. They're sweeping it. They really need this to come in here, Matt.
Looks pretty good as long as they get around the guard. They kept it out there. Looks great.
Now they're coming around. All right, that is okay. It's open for a hit, but it's not in an easy spot. We'll have to see how Nutmeg skip does here. It's going to be a control takeout.
Now, do you like the roll here? Do you like the nose hit?
Well, you know the other skip is struggling. You want to make it difficult on him. You know he's been throwing a takeout game, and he hasn't quite figured it all out yet. So, but you gotta get him to draw here. So if you're asking me, I probably wouldn't mind if I rolled out. That looks narrow. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to crash the guard.
He might
Probably not a bad thing, though.
He
Looks
might
like it's
pop the red one to count. No, too heavy. All right, well, things turn on a dime in this game, don't they?
Well, Nick's still in trouble here. Even if he gets a draw, I mean, the other stones, if he doesn't get the draw, the other stone's already lined up. All he has to make contact on the red, and the yellow stone goes away. It's critical shot for Nick here.
So they are also finishing up the end on sheet A. It is 4-3. Broomstones winning that match. And what does it look like on the sheet?
The sheet is a lot of reds right now. It looks like 2 counting red stones, and Ardsley has the hammer, the yellow team.
And they're up to their last shot. So this is a big shot for Ardsley coming up.
Looks like he's looking at the tap. He has the tap and the draw. Well, it looks like the double takeout, but it doesn't. I don't like it.
This is Brian Stewart here deciding what to do. Came to Ardsley from Albany. We had an Albany team here win the 4th event, or runner-up for the 4th event, I believe, earlier. It's good to see them.
They won the 4th event.
They won the 4th event.
We're being told.
If you haven't been up to the Albany Curling Club, you should go. You got to get really good directions, though, because it's in the middle of a neighborhood. You can drive right by it. But there's great people. The few times I've curled up there, the food is just tremendous. And it's easy to get to. Very centrally located among all the GNCC events. We've got a lot of new members there at Albany.
They co-hosted the Dykes with Schenectady 2 years ago. A successful event, and my team had a great time there.
All right, here comes the Beaton shot. Just trying to knock out the red stone that Doucette had thrown. It's got to sweep. He looks a little narrow. He's got to get around that guard. He's done it, and that is going to be 2 for Nick.
That was a nice shot by Beaton. Right.
Now Nutmeg's gonna have to do something powerful here.
I don't know how powerful you need to be here. You do take out on the red stone, run it back, and it just, if you hit the right angle, I mean, it'll roll right to the button.
Well, that shot that Beaton threw was just spectacular. I mean, he is buried. He's they're not going to dig him out anytime soon unless they try a difficult run back. So that's definitely going to be one, unless he draws in just perfectly on the button, which he may be trying to do here. It's hard to tell. All right.
Update on sheet A. Looks like the hammer shot for Team Stewart. It's a little bit narrow. Missed the takeout, so the end was a steal of 2 for Team Rybak and Broomstones, Team Red. So updated score would be 6-3 Broomstones. I didn't see the score on sheet C, but I believe someone must have scored 7.
Now this looks like it's going to get a nice little tick, and we'll see. It's a good effort by Nutmeg, but it's still 2 for Ardsley. So really, that Beaton shot really changed everything. Now they have a chance to draw for 3. That might get him going here.
Beaton's got ice water in his veins.
Well, he's got something in his veins.
Yeah, it's usually vodka. So he has to go the straight draw here. He has to be careful. If he makes contact with his yellow stone, he could easily lose the second counting stone.
While he's thinking about it, we can watch Joe Sablow throw his first stone on sheet A. Joe is our chairperson of this year's McKay Douglas International held here at Ardsley. We hope you'll come back and join us for that event. It is in its 80th year, I believe.
Thank you, Joey Peanuts, for stepping up and taking that rollover.
All right, Nick is up and down here. They're still adjusting the...
I do not believe the finals are a timed event. If so, the bagpipers pushed all our time out the window. They were a little bit late, but that's all right. We appreciate them coming down. They're great spirits, and they do a great job out there for us.
All right, looks like a little wide. I hope he doesn't hit his own stone out here. His weight is much, much better. Get a nice tick here and stop.
It's really close to... Oh, apparently wasn't that close because they kicked it right away. I'm going to say 3. What do you think?
I'm dumbfounded why they don't just measure. Maybe they don't know how.
It's probably just the view that we have makes it look a lot closer than it actually is.
Well, I'm also a lot older than they are, too, so their eyes are better.
I think my glasses are thicker than yours. And we were being told by the boys on the ice it was a score of 3 for Team Beaton. So screaming into the lead is Ardsley with 4, total 4-3 after 4 ends.
We are a country club, curling club, so we don't scream. We clap officiously.
Ice cream.
What is happening on that crazy match on sheet C?
They did not post the 4th end score because they're still throwing stones. Yeah. That's usually why. Yeah.
All right, so Benet has thrown a center guard. I know he's pleased about that. It looks like sheet C is 1 red right now.
Hammer remains. He has the...
So it's going to be probably, if he draws in, it'll probably be 2 red. So it looks like Nutmeg is changing up the strategy a little bit here. They are just drawn to the edges. This is good, I think. They're going to try to entice Ardsley's front end to go for these stones here. Really good shot. Let's see what Nick does if he falls for it. Nope, he's drawing around.
That's that ice water in his veins. Or vodka.
So the lead's been busy trying to throw guards the whole time, and now all of a sudden he's going to have to draw in and see if he can put a little extra on this. That looks pretty good, Matt.
Looks nice. It's a way that they were on, off, so the line's close. The boys like the weight. They're looking for top house here. Boy, that thing's curling a lot.
It curled a lot more than they thought. That's too bad. 2 guards. That's not bad. You know, when you don't have the hammer, you want to control the front of the house, and they're certainly doing that for now. We'll have to see if the Nutmeg ring can put one in behind. And if they do, that would be tough to dig out.
Well, it's strange. It seems like they put their stone out on the side and then immediately abandon that strategy after 2 stones.
Yep, that is.
You see that very often where someone puts up a corner guard and then the other team's already put up their center guards and abandon the strategy, go right behind center guard, and then it's just a race to the forefoot.
I don't know what happened there, but he hogged it in a big way.
That's a pitcher shot. On my competitive team, if you hog a stone, you buy the next pitcher.
That was Hancock's second stone. This is Agostino coming in now. It looks like he's going to try to draw around. Oh, tap. He's tapping up now.
It's really over curling. He stays up, he actually might catch the far guard.
I'm a big fan of the tap up. It's nice to.
That's Casper guard weight, correct?
No, Casper guard would be behind the tee line.
Yeah, perfect tap weight.
All right, so Larry Bacchieri's up, otherwise known as Skinny Larry. Wonder why they call him that.
It's a mystery.
This has got to go. Looks like he's trying to just remove everything in the front, and he might end up sticking around. Ooh. So that rebounded off of the other guard, and now they are counting in the back, Ardsley is. You know, that first stone they threw out to the edge may come back into play here. You may have heard on the commentary from Nick that he's looking for a guard. If he comes in, it's okay as well.
I don't know that I agree that it's okay if he comes in there. You set up the double. Where he called it, say it's a touch heavy, they're in line, he can get the double, and if you play it right, the double roll behind guards.
This looks wide.
And from the commentary we're hearing from Vinay, sounds a touch heavy. Quite a bit heavy. It looks like it should come down to the other stone, though.
That would be a nice plan B if he froze to the back.
Well, the sweepers abandon the stone at the top of the house. They need to stay close. That's a good lesson. Stay next to the stone. There's plan Bs, plan Cs that the skip is constantly running through his mind.
So Skinny Larry can dig both of these out. If he skinnies it.
Just stop. That's as bad as our Nick just nicked that stone.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot.
That was great.
Really nice.
Almost got it to stick around for that second outside biter.
Yeah, but still, you got to give it for Larry there. That was great. So now they're counting way out in the wing. They've got hammer. And it looks like Nick is finally going to hit it here. Or he can draw in. What would you do here?
At this point, I think I just hit it. You have an opportunity to hit and roll behind those guards. It'll be in front of the tee line.
So one of the difficulties about being a skip is you got to know when to just give orders and when to ask. And Nick is asking a lot here of Corey what to do. And a good team, and this is a good team, will know when to do that. When to ask and when to just direct. All right, so this is not going to bury. This is going to be open. So what this does is it offers Nutmeg an opportunity to just hit and sort of drag behind a guard, which is what he's going to call. And even if he hits and sticks around, he's counting 1 and 2. So it was really imperative that the Fisher Stone, if he's going to throw a draw, get it behind a guard.
Based on the result of that shot, I mean, it would have been just as good to hit the outside stone and hit it nose.
Yeah, I agree. I would have probably called that. You know, you're winning, right? And you want to keep the other team to 1, get the hammer back.
Well, with those stones off center, sorry, the guard stones off center, the odds of you stealing in this situation aren't great. So unless you want to put up another guard and just go hard for the steal that way, I don't understand the point of not going ahead and just taking out that stone and play for a 1 or a blank. Once again, 5 and under curling, the strategies are a little bit different based on the ability of people to make your shots.
Well, that's a good point, Matt. That's another variable. You've got to be able to figure out what shots your team members can make and which ones they can't make, and that's another variable that goes into your decision.
Some people just do not enjoy the takeout shots on the outside. They just have difficulty sliding to that extreme. I don't know that that's the case with Corey. I don't believe he has a restriction with that. Some people just don't might call him that.
And he has flashed this. This is a big miss. So now you're really opening it up for Nutmeg to get a big end. Corey's not going to be pleased. So, Matt, this is where the body language of a skip really comes into play. If Nick were to kind of scowl and wander around back there with an angry face on, that people look to that, and you've got to just stay up, and you've got to stay motivated to make sure that you'll get him next time. And that's sort of the mantra of a good skip, is to not show anything.
Well, that was my Dykes experience last year. After a disappointing first game, apparently my body language was subpar and affected the team thusly. Mike Spensieri, who does his best to keep me at the top of my game, said I was terrible body language in the house the entire weekend. And saying it just the way Mike has a way to say it.
What does this look like, a guard here?
The call was guard.
Oh, that's a great shot. Really good. McCarthy is really hurting Ardsley right now.
And he showed the right. It over-curled a little bit, but if you're going to show some of the stone, you'd rather show the outside. So if there's a chance for a hit, there's no chance for a hit and a roll behind guards. It's a hit and roll to the open side. Had it under-curled, still gotten the guard, but shown the other side of the stone, you have an opportunity to make that hit. Maybe a ridiculously heavy double, or the hit and roll behind guard.
Well, that second stone, the first one they threw in the end, is really still in play. And you're potentially giving him one because they drew around and they didn't take that out. Looks like he's going to run the guard back into the counting stone here.
like to say hello to Ed joining us. And yes, we will constantly call Larry Skinny Larry from now on, knowing that it was a nickname that he was trying to make go away.
I don't do that.
We could try to make average size Larry fit, but doesn't quite have the same ring.
So what do you think of this shot here, Matt? Is this what you would do?
I think I would tap my yellow or play the hit and roll off the outside. I don't, at that point, if you're doing, I don't see the point of this shot just because is he trying to run the guard and double him out? Is that the call?
I think so, but he's not going to count, and he's just going to draw in for 2 even if he makes it.
Well, this is Nick's first shot, correct?
But he doesn't seem like he's at all comfortable with this. He's taking his time in the hack here.
Doesn't seem to get you anywhere unless you make the double perfect. It could jam.
He's not going to count, and we know that.
Well,
he has overswept that.
and he took away any tap he had now.
Yeah.
And he made the takeout of that outside stone for the hit and roll. That might be gone.
And so they've really opened it up for Doucette here. He just needs to draw in. Now, Nick's going to have to think about that one, I think. Well, we got a break here. Skinny Larry has wants to say hi to his wife, Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. We're making fun of Larry. And his daughters, Lorelei and Madeline. They may not be listening now, but they'll listen to the tape replay for sure. This will be posted on our website, so if you want to go back and watch, feel free.
I think our Rybak viewership is in the tens.
See Ray Ulmer's logged in here, so now we're up to 11.
Now let's double that 11. It's 22 viewers right now. I think we peaked at 140. That dramatically dropped off.
Must be our commentary.
That's right. They turned up the volume and they wouldn't stick around very long. Update on sheet A. After that steal on the fourth end, Ardsley comes back with 1 in the fifth. Team Broomstones still leads 6-4 after 5. Another large end is building on C, as is customary. Looks like they're sitting 3. Have not posted the fourth end score, but we know the current score is 7-6. Team Virginia over Team Potluck.
Must have missed that draw on the last end. That is a crazy match. Nick and Corey are commiserating here.
I think here with the shot, you play the double, and if you play it right, it's a hit and roll. You play the hit and roll, it shrinks the house. They're going to have a hard time getting your number 2 stone, second counting stone, out of the house. They're basically just drawing for 2 at that point, which at this point, I think you take that as a win for Team Beaton.
Oh, yeah.
Or the hero shot, throw the peel, the peel triple.
I guarantee you they're not thinking of that one.
And the other option is draw down to the back stone, try to be shot rock, and that looks like where he's going.
Oh, man. So this is a high risk, high reward shot here. And I mean, it's the fifth end, you're more than halfway done, but I don't know, if you hold him to 2 here, you got the hammer and you're only down 1. But if he makes it, everyone's going to love him.
It seems like an unnecessary risk at this point of the game. He's up 1, giving up 2 here. It's not a bad position to be in, down 1 after 5 with the hammer.
Giving him an opportunity to take 4, and that's the part that's tough.
Stones away. Looks okay. The sweepers are close. Line is
curl a lot.
Looks maybe a touch heavy, unfortunately.
Okay, well, he's made it a little difficult for Nutmeg, but that's certainly somebody of Craig's skill level. He can take that out.
Even if you lose the shooter here, you're not too worried about that. He just doesn't want to overcurl jam, and even that's okay. He's going to get 2 if he happens to make that shot. Can you tell from the line? It doesn't look like it's 100% visible. Maybe about 3/4 of the stone is open.
I'm pretty close to the being right behind. I could probably see about half, a little more than half. More than half. So this is eminently doable here. It's just a matter of him not overthrowing it. They're giving him quite a bit of ice here, so it looks like Craig wants to have his rocks stay in play.
Looks like I'd guess bumper to hack weight. Probably bumper weight with the ice he's given.
That looks narrow. They have got to jump on that. And they are pushing it out. All the way hard. And he is going to tick that red. And, oh, did Nick's escape there. Wow.
Well, Ray agreed with the shot for the draw there for Nick. Ray has a great draw game, so he tends to make those a little bit more.
Let me just say that Ray is wrong.
The president has officially called out Ray and told him he's wrong on that call. Hail to the chief.
All right, so Nick escapes. He's taking his 1, steal a 1. Yep. Fenton is up on sheet A. And it looks like the call from Skip Stewart is a draw. Not a lot of ice taken here on sheet A. Looks like he's wide, but the weight looks close. Fenton is throwing his second stone. He is a second for Ardsley. And they will be counting 2 after this one comes to a stop. Not bad.
Looks like we're at Skip's Rocks on sheet C. I believe this is the hammer. Just by looking at the house that we're looking on sheet C, we can see the overhead views from the warm room. They're sitting 1 stone for yellow. This would be a draw for 2, or you can hit the back stone, have an opportunity for 3.
So that'll make it 700 to 600.
Nice run back on sheet A to take out the stone behind guard. For Team Broomstones, eliminating that stone. Now they have a stone behind guard. Put in Stewart. Seems to be really surveying the house, trying to decide what to do here.
Nice advantage for Beaton here is he knows his players can make better shots than they've been doing. Benet has been short, he's been long. His first shot has been, it's a pretty high guard there. I've seen this guy really curl well, and he's gotten a lot better over the years, and he can do better. Corey can certainly do better. So a lot of times these things sort of average out through the course of a match. That was a big miss by Craig on that last end there. Could be a real game changer. It's Barry Rosenblum in the hack on sheet A. Barry's son Matthew and my son Danny are playing in the finals of the Potomac Junior Spiel right now, which we're missing.
we here at Ardsley have watched Danny and Matthew grow up the last few years here and watch their play dramatically improve. They're playing great right now. The junior world looks great for Ardsley right now. Well, at least the handful of juniors that we have.
Yep, they're growing. That's a good shot by Barry. He's not buried, but it's hard to dig those out of there when you got a curl from the wall out. And they're not even going to try. They're going to try to draw around the other way.
So Team Beaton is sitting second stone. There's 2 stones out on the wing for Craig. Sheet's pretty wide open still. Nick can't decide. I think here, well, you have a couple choices. You play the takeout and try to limit the number of red stones in the house, or you go hard for the steal and either put up a guard towards the center line or draw in. Looks like on sheet C, they've posted the 5th end score. Skip was unable to make the draw for the second shot, so after a blistering first 3 ends, we've settled down and trading ones. So the game is again tied after 5, 7-7.
Sheet A, Rosenblum's thrown his second. Pretty back and forth over here. Broomstones is still ahead. Thrilled that Broomstones could join us this week. Their club up in Wayland, Massachusetts is just a wonderful place. It's shaped like an upside-down boat, and it's really a great place to watch. They have an upstairs and a downstairs, close to the city. It's just ideal. Really, really active membership there. Glad they could join us.
Anyone who's ever been there, there's just one word to describe Broomstones: crud. It's a great game. You got to play it upstairs in the warm room.
That looks like it's going to get a nice roll. And again, the sweepers gave up on that. They needed to move that over a little bit more. So that is now hittable. So Matt, your point is well taken. You've got to pay attention all the way to the end. Here comes Agostino's shot, and it looks like it came out of his hand funny there. Whipped way over to his right, and he is just going to move Vinay's guard over, which is not so bad because now it really opens up that counting stone for a hit. But look what's going on here. They've got a biter on one side. They've got on the tee line all the way on the other side another stone. They are sitting 3 with the hammer. Front end matters.
As a skip, I disagree. It's all back end, baby. No, as anyone who plays, the front end sets up the entire game. If the lead is on his game, you can dictate the play pretty much wherever you want it.
Vinay has not quite been there. Either lead probably can play stones a little better. Okay, so this is coming in and nicely. He could get a little rub here, or maybe even a roll over just a tip. Oh, that's beautiful.
Looks like it might have rolled out the other side, giving Nick an opportunity for the hit and roll, or just a freeze down to it. I still think at this point, there's so many options still.
Well, at this point, I think you got to start cutting down stones. This is there's a time to be cute, and this isn't one of them. They're up 2. They don't have the hammer. They've got to start thinking about making sure they don't give up a huge end.
Yep. I've been told I'm always cute.
By your wife?
No. Just the mustache. Right. No, the wife disagrees on the cuteness half the time.
I would too.
She's kind of sick. She's a little sick of my shtick at this point.
Oh, man. He's just trying to get around that guard, and he has just nicked it, and they were a little late on the sweep call there. But again, Matt, I mean, that was a really tough shot that he made Corey throw there. I don't know if that's something you want to have your vice do or something you want to save until the end.
Well, that wasn't going to be there after the next shot. He's going to do. What would you have called on the last shot, the shot previously, if you don't call that shot? I think that was where you had to play it.
I would have started taking stones out.
But I think he was playing take the hit and roll over, just with the weight. I mean, that thing was bumper.
Yeah, it was bumper.
So he was playing the soft come around, hit and roll over behind guard.
You've got another open 2-stone there you could have taken now. And then waited to see what happens with this rock here from McCarthy. I mean, this is how to retreat gracefully at this point if you're Ardsley. And that is a good guard. Their vice is really on right now. And Nick has really worked his way into a crummy position here. One good precursor to see how the match is going is you kind of start to compare how easy each skip's shots are. And Nick has had to make some pretty difficult draws and takeouts throughout the course of this match. He's made some, and that's why they are ahead. But overall, I think you'd have to give the edge to Craig for having some easier time of it by the time he bends over the stone. That one is really curling.
At this point,
that's not going to make it either.
It's really right. Was he playing a little soft draw?
It's hard to tell.
Okay, so apparently the call was T-line draw in there. He was thinking he can get behind that guard or even play a little tick and come out. Just over curled on him. A little light. And that was after he had just thrown his takeout. Not exactly the easiest transition of shots.
This is Brian Stewart's second stone coming in on sheet A. Skip for Ardsley. And that looks close. He's going to probably end up counting 2 here. Oh, I didn't see the red one that he's crashing on. Okay, that's short. So it is currently 1 for Ardsley on sheet A, with the hammer shot coming from Broomstones.
Looks like they're lining up the run back. So run back for Rybak for 2.
Rimkus throws lead for Broomstones. Wants to say hi to his wife, Vida, for allowing him to get out here and curl. And his kids. Kids are grown now, so they're probably pretending they don't care what their dad is doing, but I'm sure they do.
Big opportunity on our featured game here, and they're sitting 5. Nick is in a tight spot with 2 stones to go. It might be a little too late to bail out and start peeling.
Well, it is too late. He's got to start. He's got to pull a rabbit out of his hat here, and this is why you start harvesting stones earlier in the match, because now it's just a sea of red.
An update on sheet A. The run back for Rybak over curled. Did not work. It was a steal of 1 for Team Ardsley. So the score is now Was it 6-5 Broomstones after 6?
It's a close match. They're all close. Sheet C is still registering a tie, 7-7 in the 6th end. Lisa Brown is in the hack now with Potluck team. Here she comes.
It's really nice to see these skips performing so well in our finals. All three tight games. I mean, the pressure's tough. It's easy to at the cool duck to quack up.
Oh, God. Really? A lot of people ask me how Ardsley got associated with a duck, and nobody really knows exactly. The story that I've always heard is that when the curling club first started, the buildings passed, the rock being thrown on the ice used to waddle like a duck. I recently had an opportunity while we watched Nick's shot come down. Hopefully he can get around that guard and then stop. And he has cut it down. No, he hasn't. He's only cutting one down.
Red is still sitting 4 with 3 stones remaining.
So getting back to my story, I was able to visit one of the original builders of this club in the 1960s. She's currently 95 years old, lives outside of the Cape Cod Curling Club. And I asked her, how did the duck get associated with the Ardsley Curling Club? And she thought about it, and she goes, hell if I know. So we still don't know.
Well, that's as good of explanation as we've heard from any of the more experienced members at our club. I personally enjoy the myth of the Ardsley curlers throwing so bad the stones waddled like a duck as they went down the ice. The quality of Ardsley curling has improved a little since those days.
Yes, yeah, you can see the banners on the wall here. We've got a good crew of competitive curlers out of this club. As we watch Doucette stone come down, hopefully he's going to try to grab 5 here.
Of our competitive curlers, we have 3 teams currently curling in Canada this weekend. I didn't keep up on the results. I know Team Joyance was doing very well.
How is she doing? I haven't watched it much at all.
That was one of the few that we did catch up on. She won her first 3 games, lost her last game, and on a tiebreaker, or whatever the tie-breaking stance was, she missed the playoffs of several teams who were 3-1.
Oh.
She was the short end of that. But after winning her first 3, that was a little tough on their team.
Yeah, which club were they at?
They were in Cookstown, Ontario. I don't know the specific club. Up there was also Team Heater McCormick with Bill Stepera, and Team Alex Letcher, Lighter, something.
With Martin?
With Martin, yep.
So once again, Corey and Nick have to pull blood from a stone here,
which is very difficult.
It almost feels like they have to it looks like he's just trying to, run some stones out of there at this point. I don't know where he could hide one of his rocks to cut him down.
I think if he had the weight right, he could do the same shot he just threw. It's still there. We just saw them throw the same stone. I think if you're trying to cut it down and minimize the damage, it's the draw on the sheet C side.
It looks like he is looking to run back a guard here.
I don't see that at all. It's a bit tough. He's in a tough spot.
Well, Nutmeg's got to feel pretty good. You know, they're down 2, but it's because Nick has really made a lot of, you know, clutch shots here. Again, those kind of start to even out, but they have played strategically a really good game up to this point. And the whole thing could turn on this rock right here. All right, the shot is off. It looks like he is trying to run that guard back, Matt.
I'm not sure to what end. It looks like it. Well, you can't catch it nose enough for it to matter.
He's wide.
If it's
No, that didn't do anything.
still sitting 5. Draw for 6. We're looking at like a sheet C kind of score for this end.
Yep.
Late in the game, that's tough.
You know, you reconstruct this end, and it starts with, you know, the front end not being able to make their shots and Nutmeg taking advantage and loading up the house. 3. 1 in the middle and 2 on each side. And at that point, you got to start deciding, do I start harvesting rocks and taking out rocks? So it goes all the way back to the first couple of shots at the end. It's very difficult to tell, though. But by the time it got down to the last Fisher stone and both Beaton stones, those are difficult shots, very difficult. It does feel like Nutmeg is playing a much more straightforward, simpler game. They're calling shots that are not, for themselves, that are not as difficult.
Not sure what they were calling here.
Looks like just a simple draw, and
Just hung out there on the line. They got a hit and roll. It worked out. I'm guessing they didn't want to play anything too close to those center guards. Risk tapping up.
yeah, it's a big end, a big end. Congrats to Nutmeg. That changes everything. And now Beaton's got to play catch up, and Nutmeg is going to probably start to throw more stones in the house and make Team Beaton hit. We'll see what they do.
We're down to the hammer shot on sheet C in the 6th end. Looks like they're once again building a large house. There's 3 in the house. This is a draw for 4 if he can find. Looks like it's open on one side. So just a draw from the wall side.
Yeah, he's throwing a guard, Matt. No, this is going in.
No,
This should go in.
the sweepers are hitting it hard. They definitely want it in.
Yeah, it's there. Okay, good shot. Now what do? You hit it, and you're sitting wide open for a takeout. Or do you draw down to it? You can hit or draw down. It looks like he's going to play corner guard, which is typically the call when you're behind.
It's really tempting to want to hit that, but you have to ignore it right now. Yes, we are going to have to make a play on it at some point, but that's not a shot for now. That's late in the game, maybe second shot or the vice.
That's light. It's going to have to jump on that. It's going to be too. That's a little bit too far out to the corner. It might actually bite the rings.
Looks like it is going to slip in for him. Take it all the way in. Either want it all the way in or all the way out. Those half-in stones are not a benefit to you.
All right, so you're down 4 all of a sudden with only 2 ends left. So you're looking to just tie at this point if you're Ardsley. And if you're Nutmeg, you just got to get rid of stones.
That's why I'm very confused why they're throwing the guard now on top of the stone in the house, rather than just, it's in the house, take it out.
Yeah. If you're up, I agree. If you're up this far late, just remove everything, even if it's in the other sheet. Take that one out. You know, anything. You know, anything yellow should be erased.
Mm. Okay, the hammer shot is away on sheet C. This is a draw for 4. They are jogging next to it. Not a good sign for the draw. Seems like it might slip through, but is it going to tick? No. It'll go right through the house. Okay, so score of 3 for red on sheet C. So Curling Club Virginia takes the lead once again. They are up now 10-7 after 6 ends.
I'm exhausted just watching the score on that match.
Just glad they slowed it down a little bit in the 4th and the 5th for us.
Okay, this is a straight take for Vinay here. Let's see if he can do it.
It's real close. They're up, down, up, down.
Looks like he's got it. That's a really good shot for Vinay. Exactly what the skip wanted.
Those of us who've watched Vinay, and he puts in a lot of time practicing, his game has really improved over the last few years.
All right, so let's see if Craig starts calling everything out now.
Okay. Just want to thank Barb Gebhardt for contributing all these delicious cookies that we had here. She does a great job.
And I don't know if he's trying to sit on it or take. He should be taking this out. Now he's just going to run it back, if that, or sit on it. That's a good shot. Again, I probably would have just removed it.
Different people's strategies. I'm on board with you. I probably would have taken it out. I mean, even if you peel off your own stone at biting the top, if there's no stones to guard behind, it's hard to build an end with more than 1 or 2 stones at most.
Here comes Steve's shot. And here's an opportunity here to take out and then guard what will eventually be the counting stone if he's successful. Looks like he's going to nip the guard instead. And he can roll over and stay. No, he's coming out. So that's a miss. So this looks like another draw here for Craig's team. If he's successful here, Matt, they could shake after this end here. Beaton really needs to score. He really needs that big shot. And Nutmeg's letting him in. I mean, they are. They're leaving a lot of rocks in the house.
The stone over curled for him, so the guard is unsuccessful. A little hit and roll here. Wow, you have to roll away from the guard now, so to prevent the jam.
That looks like it's going to have to stay on this because it's a bit narrow and it may jam on their counting stone. And it will. That's a big miss.
That was another stone. They had the opportunity to roll their stone over a little bit, and they just watched it die.
Just been a little off. Well, offline. They played a strategy that was really heavily reliant on takeouts in the beginning.
Well, just one thing for newer curlers. I mean, you always stay on the stone that's going to roll. Your skip can always call you off. To call you on, it's sometimes too late. You've already missed it. It's a game of inches when you're playing with the roll.
You know, not to beat a dead horse, but you know, another thing that skips always learn is how to finish a match. And when you're up, there's a different strategy that you can employ. You know, some skips feel that, you know, whatever's worked, let's just keep doing that until the end. But if you're confident that your team can take stones out and you're ahead, by all means, do it. Because if Steve would have made that shot, they would have been counting 3.
They decided to throw up another guard here. And, oh no, he's calling now the freeze.
At this point, he's trying to hold Nick down to just 1, maybe 2.
Okay,
given his lead is not the end of the world, but he gets the hammer in the 8th. Sorry, Matt.
That's fine. If Nick is successful here to make the hit and roll, do you believe they're sitting 2 or 3? It's a little difficult from the overhead. The angles are just a little funny, so it could go either one. If Nick was able to make that hit, I think he'd be sitting 3.
Yep, they are. Nutmeg has really given him a lot of opportunities here. You know, the Agostino shot wasn't successful, but this one's got to move over now as well.
Looks good. Looks pretty good. Sweep it over, boys.
All right. Fisher's been able to make that, but now that rock is sitting out wide open. It'd be nice if Nutmeg were able to get a little roll here. I have to say the man of the match here has been Nutmeg's Vice. He's been tough to beat.
The ice cream man pants. The man in the white pants is a menace. He's a terror. And they've beat me a couple times. So.
It looks like he's wide here, Matt.
It looks like he might catch it and roll to the side.
Yep, he's got it. He's dug it out of there. That's the important thing. The rock can go wherever it wants.
The stone in the back of the house is probably the one that would help Craig the most here behind the tee. I mean, he could have drawn onto it if he wanted to play that strategy. They've been drawing very well. Now they've started playing a little bit more towards your strategy of that you've been asking them to play. Start taking those stones out for no reason. Just get them gone. And I don't know if they have an opportunity to draw behind anywhere. Where do you place this stone?
It looks like he's going to play a draw around. You know, you want to get at least 2 here and then try to steal 2 in the 8th. So, you know, if he's counting 2, and it's hard to say, it wouldn't be so bad to just put one in the 8-foot wide open and then just play a takeout game the rest of the way. But if he's not counting 2, you got to hope that Corey can put this somewhere close. They're thinking it's narrow, tight, he said. Looks a little light now, too. Looks like he's going to end up.
I think it might make the house. Not the ideal shot. Doesn't want to tap that up. And, well, if they weren't second shot before, they're second shot now.
Yeah, that's brutal. But again, Matt, I mean, he called Corey to make a very difficult shot there. And it's another variable that you got to consider.
Well, he did, but now with that shot there, all of a sudden a takeout on that top yellow pops the red out, and if he maybe a little rollover, could be sitting 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, that's true. CB sees it.
If you're Craig here, let's see. They had a couple options.
What's happening over in sheet A while we're waiting? It looks like Broomstones is up 2, and they are playing the 8th. This is either the first or second stone by Ardsley's second being thrown now. Oh, first, sorry. Their lead, second stone. Here comes McCarthy's shot.
It is opted to play the hit here, trying to minimize the number of opportunities. Looks like it's going to jam for him, though.
Oh, it's coming out.
Oh, just squeezed through.
Man, that's a good shot.
With those stones staggered, Nick has the opportunity to draw in and get something.
Looks like he's thinking about popping the guard into the red and maybe flopping over. What do you think of that?
I think it made a little bit more sense when that other stone was still there. If you do it now, you risk exposing your shot rock, or if you play it wrong, you get a little drag effect, you can end up taking out your own stone. It looks like they're set up to the point, just from looking at the overhead, where it should pop the red out and not make contact. But he's elected to, he's trusting his draw weight, thinks he can go draw, and get the skips deuce. And, well, I guess it'd be 3, but get 2 skips scoring stones.
Yeah. And if Nutmeg steals here, it's handshake time, I think.
I would agree. Nick still isn't a good opportunity here.
This could be a game saver shot here. And it's off.
Waits close. The sweepers want to go. They're waiting on line, though. It seems to be hanging out a little bit.
That looks heavy, Matt. Looks like it's going to keep moving here. It didn't curl. Nick was asking Corey if it was wide, and he said it was a little wide.
Turned out to be a button shot. Not the ideal shot in this situation. It gives Craig an opportunity to hit and roll. He'd be in a commanding position, buried, if you can do that. And honestly, you don't even need to do that. Just take it out and roll off. Make him make another cold draw.
Well, you've got to feel, if you're Craig, pretty confident in making this shot. This is something that you just do. And now it looks like his sweeper team has a different idea. I can't figure out what they're talking about. What's happening on sheet C? Is anyone? I don't think they put the score up for the
Sheet C. There was a
score is not up yet.
It was red 3. So the score again is 10-7. There it is. They're just putting it up now. Score of 10-7. They must have heard us.
10-7 Virginia.
Yes, Virginia. Now we just tell scores and you guys can pick the winner.
Oh, we have an issue here on sheet B. They're looking for an umpire. Broomstones is thrown. Sheet A. Looks like a takeout that's going to be successful. Matt Shiner is looking resplendent in his cool duck yellow with his duck tie. That's one of those outfits that only works here today.
Well, he's there seems to be a issue that required judgment by the official. We're not sure of the situation yet. Seems to be order of stones or no. We'll get clarification here in a second.
So Rosenblum is thrown, and he is taken out of stone, and they're operating in a more conventional closeout strategy here on sheet A, trying to make sure that they maintain their. The Broomstones is trying to maintain their two rock lead here, and it looks like Broomstones is just trying to get rid of as many yellow stones as possible. Interesting to see what Stewart does here late to try to take two. Right now they're just trading stones, but he doesn't seem to have too many guards up front to hide anything behind.
All right, we're trying to get a ruling on the situation out on the ice. Looks like some people are using this as an opportunity for a bathroom break as we try to get this corrected. Seems to be an order of play issue. We're getting clarification from our official, which is Matt Shiner. We might have to go to the video on this.
Why that is. Was I not on air that time? Okay. All right. So we've just learned what the holdup here is on sheet B. Apparently some rocks were thrown out of order, and they realized late in the end that Nutmeg has 2 shots left, and Beaton has 1, which isn't right. They're trying to figure out what happened and what to do about it. We're getting word here that somebody believes Mike McCarthy accidentally threw the 7th rock, and that's probably what happened. That McCarthy threw 3 rocks. So we could do a replay here if we can and see what happened. Can we go back? No, we can't. Can you?
Okay.
Maybe we should run down and get Matt and read some of the comments we're seeing here on the screen. We can't go back and look at the feed yet, but if anybody concurs with Ed's comments that McCarthy threw 3 rocks, please let us know.
That might be something that happened, but what we're looking at here is the team with the hammer only has 1 stone remaining to be thrown, but there's 2 stones remaining for team Team Nutmeg. So we're trying to get clarification. We're looking at the replay, going back and reviewing the YouTube footage, trying to figure out where this went wrong.
All right, so even if the vice threw the 7th stone, it could have been an accident, could have occurred earlier than that. In the meantime, we'll keep you posted on sheet A and sheet C. All right, so Broomstones is still in the position on sheet A of trying to just limit the amount of counting stones that Ardsley 3 rink has on sheet A. Right now, sheet A, Ardsley split the house for 2. And it looks like Broomstones has been able to take out that stone. But this is going to be an interesting development here. If Brian can make this shot, they will be counting 2. And it could end up being Skip's Rocks here on sheet A. All right, let's see what Brian does here.
Say it on the mic. So, guys, ultimately what happened there was the vise on the Nutmeg rink threw 3 stones. So they're still in order. There was no question of the order of the stones. It wasn't that there were 2 yellows thrown without a red in between or anything like that. It was just that the vise threw 3. So the ruling was the skip gets 1 shot, and then Nick gets the hammer, and we're done.
Thank you, Matt. In the meantime, looks like sheet A, Brian has made his shot. And they have counted 2 here late. And we are looking at Skip's Rocks on sheet A. Well done. Meanwhile, the stone has been thrown on sheet B. And now Beaton is coming down here to
Draw for 3 for Team Beaton.
If he can draw for 3, that would be huge.
That'd be huge. Looks like we have a tie game after 8 ends on sheet A. They are bringing the stones back to the other side of the sheet and playing a full extra end. So the score after 8 ends was tied 7-7. Team Rybak and Team Stewart from Broomstones and Ardsley respectively. On sheet C, after 7 ends, there was there was a score of 1 in the 7th by Team Potluck. So Curling Club Virginia remains in the lead at 10-8.
It's Matt Shiner here.
So just want to say special thanks to our AV expert, John Schuster, for giving us the instant replay so that we can figure things out here on this ruling.
Just stick around here, Matt. After this end, we'll sit down and talk with you. So, did he make the 3? Looks like he was short.
Just short on his draw by 1.5 feet.
That is going to haunt him a bit, especially if they end up losing by 1. Yeah. That was an open draw.
Stealing 2 is much harder. Stealing 1, especially now that they're just going to be throwing peel. Get rid of all the guards, anything in the house.
So while we do the changeover, we have our big boss man, Matt Shiner, here with us. Hello, Matt. Matt has brought the Cool Duck into an out-of-house Bonspiel to the point where we have trouble. We've turned teams away here over the last few years. What's your secret? What have you been able to do?
Well, Jeff, thanks for having me. We were really happy to just, I think, put ourselves in the right time of the calendar year where a bunch of 500 teams wanted to have some practice and maybe figure out their lineups and get ready for some of the other bigger spiels like the Dykes and the Childs and the Kaiser. So it's a great opportunity. It's a lot of fun. And the word just started spreading and the thing just grew like wildfire.
Well, you've certainly done a fantastic job. This event closed probably a week after the registration came out, or pretty soon after. It was pretty quick.
It was less than a month, but yeah, a couple weeks. Thank you.
Well, this is my first year not playing in it, and I have to say, just witnessing the teams that were coming in, I've heard nothing but positive, and we really enjoyed the atmosphere here. You've done a great job, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Matt. This is now my second year not being able to play in it, so I think you're catching the feeling that I felt last year.
I was still riding the duck at 2 in the morning.
I was right there next to you.
My hip hurts so much.
So we want to thank all the teams for coming. A lot of them have stuck around to watch. And so we currently have a couple of Ardsley teams still playing. I want to thank both Albany teams. There's a Brooklyn team here. Broomstones 1 is currently on the ice. Bucks County, Virginia. There's a team here from Houston.
They had an entire team of 4. 3 of the members were unable to make it. The skip still came. We were really happy to see him. And the rest of the team was made up with some Ardsley and I believe a member from
Jersey Pinelands.
From Jersey Pinelands.
Yeah.
So,
Jersey Pinelands had a game here. A few Long Island teams, and Plainfield has been well represented. And we had 2 teams from Philadelphia and the Nutmeg team, which you've been watching. So thank you very much to all of these teams and all these curling clubs for making a trip to Ardsley. We hope you'll come back.
Yeah, and Jeff, we actually broke a record of our own this year. This is the first time that we actually had 12 different clubs represented at this spiel. So really excited to see a nice variety of clubs representing. And we only had 3 teams that were monikered as Ardsley. So it's kind of nice to see so many out-of-town teams coming in and joining us.
What I want to know is where you find a yellow shirt and a yellow duck tie.
You can find anything on Amazon these days.
I guess.
you look great. I'm just disappointed not to see you in the shiny pants this year.
Yeah, no shiny pants.
All right, well, we're settling in for the 8th end here. A few shots have been thrown. Looks like, once again, Beaton has some decisions to make here, whether he wants to draw around. Scott Agostino's in the house, or in the hack.
I think if you're trying to steal 2, odds are they're going to start peeling these guards, so you really need another guard in play.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be directly behind that stone. It doesn't need to be necessarily on the center line, but you definitely need that second guard in play because they will be starting to peel these things now.
Right, for those who are new to the game, you're not allowed to touch a guard stone until your second is throwing. So if I were Nutmeg, I would be continuing to remove as many stones as possible. Now keep in mind also, Nutmeg now has a last shot. So if the middle is open and he needs to make it, he's practiced that draw weight earlier in this match, and he knows he can do it. But you got to keep the middle open. So this looks not too bad here from Steve. It's going to draw in nicely, perhaps just past the tee. Oh no, it's down to the 8 foot, maybe even the 12. Right. But it's in play, so you never know what's going to happen. So right, I agree, Matt. He probably should have went with a guard there, because now everything's going.
Well, he's ignoring the guards. He's trying to thread the needle and go right for the stones in play now. Unfortunately, I mean, let's say he sticks this shot. He hits the top one on the nose. Then you have more stones for Nick to draw behind. He unfortunately didn't make the shot, but now the guards are looking better. Nick at this point, he has 2 in the house. I think you still have to throw up another guard here. They're going to either run back their stone or peel those out eventually.
Nutmeg is continuing to let Ardsley back into this match. He did miss that shot, and he actually worked it out so that even if he misses it, he was going to end up being in a bad position. Nutmeg would be in a bad position for themselves. And that's another thing that is difficult to learn but has to be learned, is how to miss well. And in that particular instance, if you missed, it was not going to turn out well, and that's exactly what happened.
I have a lot of practice missing. So some people say I miss pretty well.
Well, the key is knowing your tolerances. So
here comes another one into the house. Now hopefully this will slow down a little bit. Maybe he'll get a little tick.
Yeah, I think that was heavier than he was intending.
This is okay here. Unfortunately, it sets up the double.
Right. He has to go for the double here, I think, because that's the only way he's going to get that counting stone. Want to announce the final results for the Ross Tarleton Bonspiel. I actually had word earlier as well, and the viewer has written in that the GNCC has won the Ross Tarleton Bonspiel this year against Ontario, 434 to 420. It's pretty nice spread there. It's usually closer than that.
Yeah. Well, that's only 14 stones, so it's come down to a handful of stones in years past. Wow, was the call to peel the guard there?
No, I don't think it was.
I think it came out of his hand crooked.
Okay, so the initial call was hit the yellow. He was trying to peel the yellow guard, and it overcurled, and he caught his undercurled, I guess.
Right.
So
Thanks, Sharon. So somebody's watching.
we should kind of shut up and watch some of the match sometime is what I'm hearing.
Kind of reminds me of the announcing job we did last year. I was fortunate to team up with Dan Tafaro, and every time I saw him checking his cell phone, I would ask him, "So Dan, what would you do here?"
He was also checking his cell phone and watching two of his children run around here, and he had them on a leash. But
Hey, look, last year I had the Packer game on, and I was doing this, and I was trying to focus. But, let's see if Corey can make a shot here. It's been a frustrating game for him. And that looks like it's light. Nick's going to run out and try to help it across the line.
well, the call here was a guard, so anything over line is more important here. Nick needs to get back and call line.
That is going to stop.
Skips are often, you see it, I do it as well. You get so excited, you want to make sure it gets where you want to be, so you run up and try to help out. But the line there is so important, and the third sweeper makes very little
This is a big mistake here by Nutmeg. Yeah, they're down to their vice rocks now. Beaton has three in the house, and you gotta. He's looking to peel some of these guards out of the way. So what he's hoping for is an opportunity for him to have last rock, draw down to the middle, just leave the middle open. I probably, if I were him, would have tried to just draw around now, because you run the risk of sticking around. But I'll tell you what.
Well, you know what, Jeff? Also, you said earlier that Craig really has his draw weight down, and he wants to give himself that draw. So
he
use
does.
his vice to play the peels so that he can focus on his draw.
Right, and thankfully he's got a lot of stones to play with. So Carthy, he's been pretty dead on here. He ran that red one out of there, and he's given himself a couple of ports here to remove some yellow stones. So it'd be interesting if Corey were able to throw it through that port there and plug everything up. I think that's the call.
We got an interesting scenario developing over on sheet A here, guys, as well. Tie game coming home. Yellow has the hammer. That's the Ardsley Stewart rink.
It's an extra end, actually.
Oh, is this? Sorry.
Extra end, and Broomstones has the hammer. Broomstones is sitting one.
You are correct. I apologize. I guess their pace is just a lot quicker.
Well, they've played pretty quickly, and we lost probably 5 to 10 minutes during that delay.
That's also true, yeah.
So this one is going to move in nice here if he can get it to just stop. It might over-curl. It's going to over-curl. Okay, so it's still wide open here for their vice, and this is a big break that the Fisher Stone has given him here. You know, there's a lot of swing on that shot. Difficult.
The sweep calls are critical on those guards. I mean, getting the time right, when to call them up and down based on when the break. Our ice is so curly. It's really dependent on where you call the sweepers on and off.
All right, I think they were a little heavy there in the beginning, but that was a tough one. So this is a more easy shot than what Corey had to throw, because it's just a straight take right through the port. And it looks like he is on it, and maybe he'll get a roll out of this. Too much of a roll.
Someone needs to really go out and remind Mike he only gets to throw 2 stones this end.
Right.
2 stones.
Well,
guys, in an interesting
throwing
twist.
So good, he might as well throw all of them, right?
And guys, in an interesting twist over on sheet C, the score update over there, it's 27 to 26.
On sheet C, there are 2 stones remaining.
So, Matt, how do you finish this out if you're Nick?
At this point, the draw is wide open on the far side. It's difficult. It's out on the wings for the For the Nutmeg team, if you're Nick, I think you either put one top house, maybe top 12. Maybe you can also block the draw port to the center. It's a lot harder to get that, as we just saw, to sit where you want it to sit. Me, I put one top 12. It blocks the draw port. He has a chance for a hit, but the hit will not put you in a shot position. They should still be sitting 2 stones.
Remember, he needs 2, and he does not have hammer.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. I would throw top 12 as well.
Sorry, I didn't know which Matt he was referring to. Sorry.
No. He was asking you. I'm just agreeing.
There's a team conference on sheet C deciding how they'd like to play out the last 2 stones. They need to steal 2. They are currently sitting 2.
So what's going through Nick's head right now, Matt?
He's been pretty consistent with his shot making. At that point, you try to shut everything off. You don't see the other sheets. Just concentrate on doing what you do every time. Make your slide right at the broom. Concentrate on your release. It looks to be over curling massively. Nobody touched the stone.
They might get a rub here.
Whoa. Just get a small kiss and roll towards the center. Not enough roll there.
No. You know, that's not terrible. The port is, you can get through there, but it's really hard, especially with all that curl. And he's covered up now twice the second stone. The lead stone is all the way in the back. I don't know how you get through. You could get in there, but he's really threading the needle at this point.
Well, if you're going for that back stone, you throw, the way our ice is curling, you could even throw probably bumper weight, hack to bumper. You get through that port, it's going to curl easily enough to make contact with that stone. I mean, the guard is so far in front of it, and that's the line he's looking at.
This has got to be perfect weight, though, Matt. Don't you agree? I mean, he could easily just wing one of the guards. And then all Nick would have to do is throw a rock anywhere.
Well, if he wrecks here, and it leaves up a guard for Nick. If I'm Nick, I draw a 3rd stone in there.
Yeah, just draw in.
Top 12, and then so blocks the draw port once again. It makes it difficult for him to double you out.
The risk there is if he throws it a little deep, Craig could just play a straight hit.
All right, this is really the ball game here.
Looks like it's over curling for what we're seeing. They're on it really hard.
He's going to crash. Look at that.
Ooh. But opened it up.
All right.
I still like top 12. What do you?
Yeah, top 12. That's what they're pointing. Just cover it.
Yeah, top 12, but you definitely want to stay on the center line and make it hard for Craig.
There's because of that miss, there's nowhere else that he can draw around unless he goes all the way to the outside. And if he just plugs up that middle somewhere, anywhere, he has a very good chance of getting his 2 and forcing an extra end.
With it wide open through the center, I actually like throwing guard weight, maybe getting a biter here.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting how quickly things change. I believe it seemed like Nutmeg's strategy here in the 8th end was to just keep the middle open.
Looks like we got the hammer shot over on sheet A.
And hammer on sheet C. The stone is away on sheet A. Rybak's playing a hit for the win. The sweepers are on it. On, off, on, off.
On, off. It's close.
All the stones are in play. It's by the guard.
Oh, what a shot.
Great shot for the win. Congratulations, Team Broomstones.
Fantastic.
B event winners in the extra end.
A little disappointed that they didn't blank there, because I think the weekend's rule is if you blank the 9th end, you got to buy drinks for the entire warm room.
Well, congratulations to Broomstones. That's got to feel good. You know, Ardsley made a comeback there late, and Broomstones pulled it out, so congrats to them.
All right, guys, I'm going to sign off here so I can go do some Bonspiel committee stuff, but thanks for letting me join you for the last end here.
Thank you, Matt. Good luck.
All right.
And congratulations again on a great event.
Okay, here comes Beaton's top 12. He's coming, interesting angle the other way. Probably the right call here, I agree. And he's got to get on this. This is going to overcurl.
Hard. Gotta go, boys.
All right, whoa. He just said over and out. Just stop there. Okay.
Good.
So that is a good plan B, and that is going to be awfully hard for Nutmeg to squeeze this out here. Does he have a shot there, Matt, to come right down the center line, double tap the guard into the other yellow stone, and maybe...
You're looking at the triple?
Yeah. He just needs to hold Beaton to 1.
Yeah, double him out there. That he's looking at the draw because he's thrown so many draws with his last stones. He's confident with it. This is a little bit further out than he's been, but he only needs half white here to score. Maybe full white here to score.
Yeah, they haven't been out this far yet, though, have they?
No one has, and that's if you hit your broom, that's where people walk back and forth. It's so a big opportunity to pick. He's slower, tends to be a touch slower out there. You don't know the weight.
There's a very good chance that he underthrows this. Tough shot.
Well, he's an experienced skip. I'm going to say he makes it.
All right, I'll buy you a beer if he makes it.
Okay, we have 2 skips stones. Sheet C, skips rock is away. This is... Team Yellow is trying to steal 2 to tie. This device is calling a hard sweep.
Sheet B is away. And they are on this. That might actually go out of bounds here.
Looks really heavy.
That is an extra end. That is out of bounds.
All 3 sheets are going to an extra end. We had a steal on steal of 2 on sheet A. Sorry, steal of all 3 sheets. Steal of 2 on sheet B. Steal of 2 on sheet C.
So all of you folks thinking you're going to outrake leaves now, forget it. You got an extra end coming. Well, you know, Beaton rink was really let back into that game. You know, being down in the 6th end after 4, and you know, you keep going back to Nutmeg sticking to their strategy. You had to know that those shots, the makes and the misses, would even out. He's got to be thinking at this point, I should have just taken.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, you usually don't see an extra end or an 8th end seat with that many guards in play, that many stones in play. Oftentimes, when you're ahead, it's a wide open game.
And you're also thinking, all right, well, I got the hammer. You know, I got the last shot. I'll just keep the middle open. Well, easier said than done sometimes.
Especially at our 5 and under level. We have a few more misses than you'd see at some of the more competitive games. But this game's been very competitive. A few misses, but very competitive. It's great to see.
Well, this is why you have these events, because you want to play different clubs, you want to meet new people, and you want to have a really, really strong competitive match. And we've been very fortunate. We've had 3 here today that have come right down to the wire and beyond the wire. So when they're making their trips home tonight, they'll have a lot to talk about.
Well, this shows the competition level is improving. We had some blowouts this weekend, some great games this weekend. It's great to see our finals finish up this way. And it shows a lot to Nick. He didn't get nervous, down 4 with 2 ends to go. His team made the necessary shots they needed to make.
They did.
And they could have easily been rattled in the 7th during that break when there was confusion about the order of play. It didn't bother them. They went out there and did what they needed to do.
That's a very good guard by Vinay. Exactly what the skip wanted. And remember that the Beaton rink does not have the hammer still. So now you've got to think about plugging up the middle again the way that he started here.
Well, this game in general has had a lot of steals. We've had one steal by team from Doucette, and 2 steals by team Ardsley.
This one is going right through everything. You know, it felt like Nutmeg's lead just kind of came out, and he was a little uncomfortable, a little off balance. And sometimes when that happens, you have a tendency to just kind of chuck your rock out ahead of you, just throw it a little bit, because you think you're going to fall down. And I think that's what happened there. It's unfortunate.
I believe he was playing the tick, just with the weight he was throwing. They were calling the line. They called it sweep early. Once it over curled, they got up. But they just from the way they were calling the line, I think that was the call. It's tough at this level.
That's a unique call. Yeah.
But they play together a lot. Who knows? Maybe that's something they do practice.
I don't know about you, but the problem I always had early on was, you watch curling on TV and you're like, oh yeah, that's the shot. And then you get out here and you realize, well, those guys are really good on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make that.
You get to those one of the things like, oh, I'm still athletic enough. I can still pull this off.
Yeah.
Not so much.
So it was another excellent guard put up by Ardsley here. They are taking an early lead here on this extra end. And it looks like Doucette is trying to call his team to do a draw here. Remember, he can't take those lead rocks out yet. It's called a free guard. Not until the next stone can he start making a move on those.
I think there's a good song about those. It's free guarding.
This looks pretty close if they stay on it. It's curling like mad right now. It might check up and just tick that guard.
Well, there's a few hardline brooms out there, so I believe they've damaged the ice at this point.
It's a curling drama. So what this has done, though, is a nice plan B, is it's opened up the middle. They can hit the free guard as long as it doesn't go out of play, and that's what's happened here. So what Beaton is calling now is he's trying to just plug up that hole that was just created.
Was he called another guard here?
I think so. Two good stones by Vinay to close out the extra end. So he's got to feel good about the way he finished. But his job is only half done here. He's still got to, comes down to the sweep. Looks like he's going to try to get a rub off of the red, but he's already by it. They could have gotten a tick there. And now it's going to be out through the house. Oh, Nick is pointing at himself on that one there.
Well, that's one of those plan Bs. You're always waiting for it to curl. Sometimes when you make the decision to make the plan B, it's a little too late. It's already over curled for him. It looked like he could have stayed on it and gotten at least a little rub. But it doesn't matter now.
Skinny Larry's up. You get to this point in a bonspiel, you've played and played and played, and all of a sudden you got to play an extra end, and you're just exhausted. And you got to keep your concentration going, because usually at this level right now, it's all who's concentrating the most and who can keep their physicality together for these last few stones.
Sweepers still look very fresh for both teams. They're still going hard in the extra end. I know sometimes my arms are exhausted by the 8th, 7th, 8th, and now 9th ends. When I sweep, that is.
Yeah, I was going to say, must be tough.
It's rough, like sweeping those 6 feet behind the tee line. It's exhausting.
Yelling at your teammates, yeah, it's got to hurt your vocal cords.
Well, I practice yelling in the shower.
So let's see what Scott does here. Looks like he's just playing a straight take here. I don't know what this does, frankly.
He's trying to prevent the tap up there. You take it away so that the only stone's able to tap up from the center. You own the center of the sheet at that point. Now they're going back and forth here, but
you got it. He's probably thinking, is now the time I draw in, or should I just open up the middle still? And that's a tough decision. So it looks like he's decided to open up the middle and make Beaton's rink plug it up again. And I think that's the right call. There's still enough rocks left.
Well, it depends on the strength of the team. I like the call here as well.
Well, that's way wide. He's going to take himself out. Maybe he'll get lucky and it'll curl and roll in. No, not such luck. So that's a straight miss. The only thing that really does is it opens up the draw around on the outside. But as you saw, that's a pretty difficult shot.
Well, now the guards are in play. We're on to Vice Rocks.
Vice Rocks now, so he's looking at a takeout.
I don't like the takeout here. I think now we have your guards established. Throw a straight tap, even if it's only to the top house, top 12. I like top 8 here.
I agree. You're down to 4 more stones. It's time to start moving into the house.
And you have the 2 stones off the center line for guards. So you don't have to hit it perfectly on the nose and still end up guarded stone. Preferably you'd like it on the 2 stacked stones on the sheet A side.
Sheet C's gotten through the port there, through everything. All right, here comes Corey's shot. It looks like he is in fact going to take out that red stone. But you know what might happen? He might actually bump himself in and he'll get what he wants in the end. There, see, look at that.
Plan B looks like it's popped out to the back of the house.
Wow, that curled right out. So no counting stones yet. The only thing that really did for Beaton was remove a tap up for red, but I don't think that really matters. I think you're right, Matt. You should have tapped in there or drawn around or something.
Advantage has shifted now from Team Beaton. I believe the advantage is now Team Doucette.
Right. Now you've got your best shooter up now. He's got an opportunity, probably two opportunities to draw in, and that's what he's going to try. Now the trick is, where's the broom going to go?
You have to wonder if the mental lapse in the 7th end has bothered him at all.
Oh, we'll have to ask when we get off the ice. I mean, how many games have they curled this week? I think Doucette went undefeated, if I recall.
Well, this is the A final, so they've both been undefeated. But I believe it's 4 for one team and 3 for the other. There's a long side and a short side to the draw.
Okay, so he's heavy here, way heavy. Unless he was trying for a takeout.
Actually, this might jam on the backs. Nope.
All right, so now it looks like what Doucette is doing, he's trying to do in the last end as well, is just keep the middle open. But in doing so, he's given Beaton an opportunity here to either plug it up or draw around. And again, I would be drawing here.
Basically, he's saying, I want to be, at this point, he's saying he has to be the one to throw those shots for the counting stone.
Yeah, looks like he's just going to throw a guard, which is fine. It's an easier shot for Corey, and he's had some trouble with his draws earlier this game. 3-4 they're calling. That looks like it might be deep. Now they're calling 5. That's deep.
Might be through.
No, it's checking up.
Now they got to. Now they got to
sweep. Now they got to go.
Yep.
Now.
Or just watch it.
No, that might hurt them, because now that is wide open, and he can actually hit it flush on the nose or even roll over. I think Nick has just realized that he could have swept that more.
Just to take away the options.
Don't make it easy on him. I mean, play the whole shot. Okay, here comes.
Looks like it's staying out for him.
He might tick it out.
The jam might come into play. Jam stone. Yellow sits 1. Shouldn't come into play just because the rest of the house is wide open. Nick has a couple choices here.
Well, you know what's interesting is he's sitting 1 now. He could throw up a guard. We're going to talk it over.
It's actually Nick's shot now. So Corey is, he already told Corey where he wants it. I think he called for the center line guard. Or just off center guard, I'm sorry.
What do you think of that?
I guess he's thinking that the other team's going to draw around at that point, and then he'll have the opportunity to tap. Otherwise, why? I don't understand why you wouldn't just draw behind the 2 guards that are already there and force them to make the draw. It seems a little bit late to put up a center guard when there's not a stone in play in the forefoot. Update on sheet C. They're sitting, yellow is sitting 1. That is Team Potluck without the hammer. There are 4 stones remaining. This is the skips for stones coming soon.
Here comes Beaton's first. He looks heavy. That'll be in the rings.
The sweepers don't think so.
Yep. And of course they're right.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Here. Bring it now.
Sweep it in.
Okay, well, that's the call. That's what he wanted. He wanted a guard, but you got to get in a position where you realize it's not the guard you want, and then just bring it in. If they were jump on that rock would have been buried and counting.
Well, and it's high enough. It gives Craig an opportunity to curl right in.
Correct.
And bury it, so Nick has no opportunity but to
So
draw around with less opportunity.
So a couple of tactical errors here by Beaton here in the last end. You know, not sweeping that first stone all the way through and then not seeing a plan B here really changes the end. But Craig's still got to make a shot, and we'll have to see whether he can forget what happened last end and just bring this home.
Once again, he other than that one stone that was really on the outside, probably gave it a little bit extra, thinking it was going to be slow. Aside from that one stone, he's had good draw weight most of the night.
And this broom is nowhere near as far outside as what was happening in the last end. But his weight's been strong.
The sweepers jumped it early.
They're saying go line.
Looks like it's got plenty of room.
Yeah, a lot of weight too. I think Craig may have just felt.
All it needs to be.
Oh,
that is a perfect stone for Nick Beaton.
He can just put it right on there, and he could put it right on there, right on the button, touching Craig's first stone, and that would do it, I think.
It'd be tough. At that point, you throw peel weight, try to catch nose, and hopefully get enough movement off of the second stone.
Yeah, he is really given, despite all of the problems here, he's given Nick yet one more opportunity here. Now the question is, where do you put the broom? You know he's got to come in light because he wants the sweepers to have some control over the stone. I like where Corey's at right now.
Next to Nick.
Where his broom is. You owe me a beer, by the way.
I do owe you a beer.
Sheet C is plugging right along here. And it looks like counting stone is still yellow without the hammer. And we are down to skips rocks. 2 more shots on sheet C. Yellow and then red. And that yellow stone that's counting is wide open.
Well, yellow has an opportunity. They can, on that sheet, they can guard. They can take out the red and be sitting 4. And then, well, that isn't necessarily an advantage, but it depends on if the other team's been drawing well, have been hitting well.
I like the guard here if I were them.
Sure.
Easier shot. And all right, Beaton's ready. Corey he did keep the broom where he was. That looks heavy.
The sweepers do not agree. Looks like it's got plenty. Oh, looks like it's going
go
through.
Right through. All right, he's counting, but it wasn't exactly. It was pretty good effort. It wasn't exactly what he wanted, but he's counting. Now the difference here is there is an open shot now, for Craig to put this thing away. All he has to do is just focus on this shot, and he has won the cool duck. It's wide open stone. He's just got to make it. And it looks like he's going for just a drawdown. Not a takeout.
Know your strength.
Know your strength.
He just saw the line. He just threw it. His sweepers just saw it. Sometimes there's not a need to change the shot. This one here, I would take it out.
I would take it too. It's a chance you can get the alligator arms here and just leave everything short because you're a little nervous. But that's me. He's had the draw weight all game, and he's practiced it. This is why you practice it. For the ball game. They're up and down.
Looks like it's enough weight to tap it back.
Yep. That is a home run shot by Craig, and we have a winner. Congratulations to Nutmeg for winning the Cool Duck 2015 edition. Craig Doucette, Mike McCarthy, Larry Bacchieri, and Andrew Hancock are our winners.
We will stay with you for the conclusion of Sheet C. There are 2 stones remaining. This is the last shot for Team Potluck, Sam Williams. But once again, I'd have to repeat our president's words in congratulating Team Doucette and Team Beaton in a great game and our champions.
Well, they gave it all they had. They really did. They got to be exhausted. Here comes the last shot on C.
The second to last shot. Last shot for Team Yellow. Team Potluck.
This looks like this is coming in.
They played great. Everyone from Team Potluck brought something to this game.
Now you owe me 2 beers. So that overcurled a bit and did not come into the house. You hear a hand for our winners coming in now. Okay, so the counting stone on C looks to be open, meaning you can possibly hit it. And that is what Virginia has to do to bring this thing back. It's like just a regular heavy takeout. But here's the thing, Matt, they've got to stick around. We got to nose it or just off the nose. And there's not a lot of room here for like a drawdown. They've got to throw pretty decent weight. And it's coming toward the wall. And on that sheet, that means more of a curl. Here we go.
A lot of weight from the takeout.
Remember,
they're on it.
He's got to stay. He's got to stick it. And that is coming way off to the wall. Maybe he could get a lucky break here off the red. No. So Potluck pulls it out.
Congratulations to Team Potluck and to Team Virginia Curling Club. I want to thank both of those clubs for coming out. Well, Team Potluck, half of it's from Ardsley, but thank everyone else as well.
All right, signing off. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. We
Thanks
had a
to
great
everyone
time,
who's
Jeff.
watching.
And
Appreciate
thanks
it.
to our man behind the camera or behind the audio, John Schuster. He did a great job all weekend.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Bye-bye.